Whether you're coming from a boat or a stand, welcome back to the lodge with your hosts, Matthew Dredska.
Wait, no, that's not what I meant. No, come on, no. Dang.
Patrick Mudge.
I really don't know what to say that's funny because I'm not a very funny person.
True.
And Nick Conder.
There's a difference between picking and itching.
Don't tell me they're gone. I won't have nothing left. Don't tell me you're strong and you got no regrets. If thinking about us, thinking about then, thinking about how it could have been, don't cross your mind. So if you're doing fine, don't tell me. Don't tell me.
Back to the Lodge is brought to you by Icy Tech USA.
Hey, let's just be honest. No one can ever completely beat a mature whitetail census. But if you play your cards right, you can fool them. Now, for all the work you put in to getting this close, make sure the camo you choose is up to the task. Mossy Oak, made for moments like this.
Icy Tech now has tumblers and apparel. Check out icytech.com or visit the Hardware House in Huntington, Bennett's Hardware of McKenzie, to find all your Icy Tech coolers and accessories. Icy Tech, the classic roto-molded cooler that started an entire industry. 100% veteran owned and operated. Icy Tech USA.
Get him!
This moment was brought to you by Higdon Outdoors, a leader in the waterfowl industry for over 25 years. Check us out at higdonoutdoors.com. Higdon Outdoors has been helping waterfowl hunters make the most of their time in the field for over 25 years. We are a family-owned company, and we're proud to serve duck and goose hunters just like you. We make high-quality, innovative decoys and hunting products that you can afford, helping you focus on what's really important. Check us out at higdonoutdoors.com. Innovation, quality, customer service. That's Higdon Outdoors. Get real. Get Higdon.
It's the 6 o'clock hour here in West Tennessee. I'm Patrick.
I'm Matt.
I'm Nick.
And welcome back to the Lodge. Coming back this week after, we'll call it just a week of insanity.
Long week.
We're actually working through some technical difficulties on a very, very minor scale. Hoping to have that resolved here in about 2 seconds. But anyways, you can check us out. If you're watching us on Facebook, you can give us a follow by hitting the follow button or like or whatever I guess Facebook allows you to do. And that will give you notifications of when we go live every Wednesday night on the 6 o'clock hour here in Tennessee, which is Central Time. And you can follow us on Instagram, which we're probably not as active on, but it's an option at Back to the Lodge on Instagram. So coming back, we had quite the... Very, very minor scale. Oh, we fixed the technical difficulty. Coming back from quite the crazy week last week. Matt was not here on the show with us last week, but as you know, we were up last Wednesday helping clean out the blind on Reelfoot. A couple things that came with that, and obviously, we didn't expect to have this part of the show shared as much as it was. But in retrospect, some of the things that we talked about, we're still waiting for answers on, just like every one of you are waiting for. The goal of the show last week, and some of you, obviously, this is the first time you tuned in last week or maybe even this week, but the show is to promote the resiliency, mindset, and mental health benefits of being in the outdoors. So some of the topics we talk about that people may have felt weren't appropriate for the show is what our show has been about for going on a year now.
That's exactly right. Yep.
It wasn't like, well, we're tying that in with the opportunity. That's not what it was about. I mean, you'd have to kind of know a little bit about us and what we do and what we stand for to help get more and more people in the outdoors. Now, all that being said, there are many families hurting from this tragedy. on all sides of the board. So first and foremost, shame on me, and I'll take responsibility for it, for using a situation that was close and near and dear to my heart as a comparison to what happened with somebody. And my point to that was, you don't always understand what somebody's going through, and somehow that got misconstrued as us saying that, or me saying that the gentleman had dementia. That's not what we said. No, it was comparing a similar situation where people didn't understand what a gentleman was going through. Again, all things being equal, respect to everybody in the family. But did we stand up and speak on Jeff's behalf? Yes, absolutely. Because unfortunately, the two gentlemen that were with him were unable to do that and speak to his character. But everybody that did attend the funeral services, it was beautiful services, very cold, which to be expected. And Jeff was there. Jeff's close with the families, and he was a pallbearer and present for their services. He loves nothing more than getting children into the outdoors and youngsters and helping them on their way, as Chance and Zach did. So out of this, and following forward on this week, we want to talk about a community coming together. And, it's one of the things why I do feel blessed to be among the company I am in, especially even with you two gentlemen. We are the type of people to jump when the time is right. And, if somebody needs help, we're always going to be there for them. Let me see what we have in the comments here before I get too far ahead. A lot of people just heard. Yeah, Justin, that's kind of what it was, but I would still apologize anyways, because I don't want any of their family from that side to take it the wrong way. And some people that knew David reached out and said, we've known him for a long time. We appreciate your sentiment. I don't think everybody took it wrong, but I would still apologize because, I meant no offense. And if I did, that's what I would apologize for, was for the misperception, because that's what was meant and intended behind it. But going back to what I was saying with the community come together, you and I, Matt, we talked with several people.
Before you go a whole lot further, I want to make something very clear. I am not only just praying for the families of Zach and Chance and Jeff, but I've also been saying prayers. My entire house has for
Absolutely.
David's family. They're going through a tremendously difficult time also. Mm-hmm. And I acknowledge that, even being as close to the situation as I am, they're going through something really difficult.
Everybody's
also
going through hell on this.
So, although, yes, I was obviously way closer to one side of it, today what's important is the people that are still here and the ones that need the help today, and that includes David's family, and they're getting my prayers and my entire household's prayers. So
absolutely, and we're here to help them as well.
Absolutely.
And if they ever need anyone to talk to or help with anything, we are always there for you. Like I said, this is a tragedy. We didn't call it anything other than that, because that's what it was. And we do look forward to hearing more from the DA, TWRA, and TBI on their results and how that panned out. So a lot of things developing, but and feel free to cut me off at any point if I miss anything. But when we talked about the community coming together, we will pull our network any way we can to help honor the memories of all involved, whether that is helping with funeral expenses, scholarships, and doing good to promote welfare and being in the community, and not just here in Tennessee, all across the nation. And we have entities even in Canada reaching out to us. So I don't even want to say just the nation. But, what hurt me the most from everything was, people that jumped to some of the conclusions about other folks. And look, I know everybody's hurting, and this country almost seems upside down to many people right now. But I made a post last night. This was a personal post on my personal page, but it was the best way I could word the question that I proposed to anyone. And that is, at what point do people realize you don't have to project your pain onto someone else in your own healing process? And I think that is the question I have for everyone, is how do we help each other heal? Like, if you don't like something somebody said, help them. Don't criticize them. If you don't like something I'm saying, reach out, help. But if you come out to people, it's the old saying, we can say these kind of things on podcasts because we're not on FM anymore, but you attract more flies with honey, and that's But if you just come at me with shit, you're not going to get, my receptiveness, and same vice versa. So as an outdoor community, as a nation, I do challenge people to, be careful when you even, if you don't like something somebody said, instead of just attacking them, have an open dialogue. It's just so much more productive. I don't know any other way to word that.
And that's what's been lacking in this story is, and honestly, Wednesday night, I'm guilty, I try not to, but I'm scrolling through comments on different posts about the event. And at one point, my wife looked at me and she said, "How mad are you?" I checked my watch. My heart rate was at 155. And I had typed up a huge, very professional FU to this person, in which I didn't send. And I ended up calling Chase. And I read him what I wrote, and I said, I'm just not going to send it right now. But it was the comments from people who don't know the situation and are trying to play this Facebook investigator.
And trying to rationalize an irrational situation.
Well, and now that I'm more time has passed since the event, and obviously I've done a ton of thinking. Some of these people, there's local news sources that were running.
Yeah, I saw that too.
Running the incorrect stories. Yeah. And it was this never-ending, revolving shitboard of just bad information. And I stopped blaming necessarily the person for what they were saying, just that they were saying it. It's not your place to say it. Leave it alone. Mm-hmm. What's the old saying? If you don't got nothing nice to say, don't say nothing at all.
And I also truly believe, when I see those kind of comments, it's like, that person's hurting inside.
Oh, yeah.
In the old saying, hurt people. Go and hurt people.
Yep.
And it just, I feel bad. I think I just have too much empathy because I can feel bad for just about anybody. And that's a good thing and a bad thing. But, it's just, Matt and I have been talking, and even Nick over here hiding. Let me switch the camera. I'll bring you back in.
Thanks.
Bring your pretty face. Matt has a saying that I like, don't just talk about it, be about it. And the other one he has, not to bring humor to the situation, but smells like not my problem.
Oh, I'm glad that's the one you went with. I thought it was going to be it's hard to work with
that one's caught. I use that one a lot, probably too much. But, instead of just not just talk about it, be about it. We are going to put on a benefit for all the families involved. All families. We want to be very clear about that. With their permission. And all they have to do is reach out and say, please don't, or thank you, or no, not even thank you. That's kind of inappropriate. But you have our permission. Daryl says we didn't take offense. It was good. Thank you, Daryl. I appreciate that. I really do, and I appreciate your candidness. But no, we're going to put a benefit on. We are working out and reaching out to all of our contacts and our networks, and hope to have an event put together by late March, early April.
And hope to have more things to give away. So
yes.
If anybody listening thinks that there is something that they might want to do, we're trying to make this as big as we possibly can.
For raffles and for auction items, yes. So a lot of people have reached out. You can reach us on our website, backtothelodge.com. There's a message box down there at the bottom. Or you can email, it'll come to Matt or I, info@ictech.com, ICEY- oh, look, I got the website on here. There you go, ICEY-TEK.com. You can reach Matt or I on there, and we will be more than happy to take all the assistance we can. Going a step further, and this is still very infantile stage, but Matt and I have been in discussions recently and have agreed that I think we are going to take this show in our lives a step further and start working on a bigger platform that will physically be helping anyone going through a hard time or trauma, literally give them a segue into the outdoors. And I think it's time to stop talking about it.
Be about it.
So it's a work in progress. It's going to take a lot of time, a lot of effort. But that started today. So, end of the day, back to the lodge is, like I said, it's about finding positivity, mental health, and resiliency in the outdoors. So, we need to create that environment, not just in a studio here to share our thoughts. And, why people like listening to me, I don't know. I know why you like listening to Matt. He talks funny. But, and Nick's pretty.
Yeah.
But, no, we appreciate the love, and, everything we do with success comes giving back, and any positivity that comes out of this, we want to make sure it goes back to honor those that were involved along this journey. So it's time to start stepping up, and Icy Tech is the big backbone behind all of this, and that's how we got into podcasts. So we have a lot of new listeners now, but Icy Tech Coolers was the first rotomold cooler company in the world and the first in the U.S. And in 2006, actually, when Yeti got started, that's the first cooler they used was our coolers. They bought our coolers, and what they call white labeling, they peeled the sticker off and put a sticker on that said Yeti. And that happened from 2006 to 2009. And then they shifted to another product for, business reasons and financial reasons. And Icy Tech was kind of left in the wind. So when I found the company years ago, it was an uphill battle to turn it around and work with the gentleman that had it and help him get it back on its feet and find a happy terms to where we were able to buy the company and turn it into what it is today. So Matt and I, in our journey through Icy Tech, have met so many people and been all over the country. We've hunted and fished in even several states already in just a year, but revitalizing the name and the brand. So the podcast was an indirect result of a show that was canceled, and the show was planned because we wanted to help people. We wanted people to see there's a better way. There's help. There's people that care, and the outdoors is a very therapeutic world. So Christopher's offended by the mockery you're making of the deer wearing a hat.
That's not just a hat.
So that hat is the hat from Special Operations Excursions that takes our active duty Special Operations warriors out to the field. And they do that very discreetly. They can't even advertise. And it's hard for them to fundraise. So we are proud of that. That actually is one of the deer that I got many, many years ago. But we're sorry you take offense to that, Chris. Or maybe you're joking. I'm not sure.
Pretty sure he's joking.
Matty says, Chris Kyle and his story. Yeah, the anniversary was just yesterday. I actually bumped into Chris many, many years ago and didn't know it till somebody pointed it out to me after the fact. And yeah, he was trying to help when something went horribly wrong. Hey, thank you, Chris. He's just kidding. But, and that's part of it. It's like, Gun Dynamics is a company out of Connecticut that works with new weapon technology. And one of the technologies they're working on right now that's getting ready to come to market is a remote control, which is either like a key fob or Bluetooth, and you can do it from Matt's got an Apple Watch. There's a brand name drop right there, where you can actually activate the safety of the weapon internally and cannot be modified by the shooter. So if you're in a training environment or in a therapy environment where there's firearms involved, you can actually disable the weapon remotely.
It'll be an awesome system.
It will be. And we wish that technology was around a long time ago, but it's coming out, and I look forward to working with them on that project, because that's wonderful technology. Because just being in the outdoors and some of the sporting events like clay shooting, it does let people kind of feel more in control of themselves. Not that the gun or the weapon empowers them, but understands that the weapon is not a dangerous thing. The person is, and it helps them understand that they are responsible for their actions, and they can focus on something that maybe they never focused on before. So there's a lot of positivities, and that's what I'm getting at, is that Matt and I are going to be committed to, and Nick. I don't want to leave Nick out. Nick's here. Nick's back to the lodge.
Thanks. Yeah.
But we're committed to changing the way the outdoors is perceived, received, and delivered. And I think that's really important, is not just how we, find ourselves and find peace in being the outdoors, but Matt knows, and he loves to play devil's advocate. I am huge about changing the way people that are not in the outdoors perceive outdoorsmen, because they're not, just out to kill animals, and not everybody's a game hunter. And, there's enough of those organizations out there to shame hunters. And quite frankly, there's so much shaming in this country. It's probably why we are in the position we're in. Just throwing that one out there. That may have just got us kicked off Facebook. I don't know.
We'll find a different way.
But anyways, so that's the basis and the premise of the show. And we appreciate everybody tuning in. We appreciate the feedback and the reviews. Like I said, it was mind-blowing to know that we reached that many people, but it was such a good point that we were trying to make, and I hope that was received. It appeared it was perceived well and received well. But before that episode, we met Nick through this show, and he became our producer and sound engineer. And up till that week, we were actually going to have an initiation with Nick because he was new as a greenhorn, so we had been picking on him. And we said after 26 weeks of episodes, you'll have a rite of passage, all in good fun. Well, that's going to get postponed. I'm sure you're sad about that.
I just want it to be over with already.
It's not going to be anything horrible, but I mean, if you want to tune in, maybe next week, we'll see what's going on. Nick will be trying some really, really stupid hot sauces and exotic foods.
Hold on, hot sauces as in plural? More than one?
So anyways, you'll want to tune in to see that episode next week. And, we have a lot of fun. This show is typically kind of a cut-up show, and we pick on each other. And, it's about positivity. But unfortunately, when something horrible happened.
And for people that are just new to us, we've had everybody on this show from veterans to country music singers to
outdoor celebrities
to we had Tim Brown, who was the fire chief of Tower 2 during 9/11. Captain. My fault, sir. I mean, we've had a slew of guests. We've had the Wicked Tuna people. We've had Bruce Mitchell from Swamp People, crappie fishing people. So you get a lot of the outdoors, but the glue that holds every episode together for us is the mindset. Why do we do what we do? It's not just for that 180-inch deer. That deer's great, but so is that 100-pound doe that feeds my family for half a year.
Well, and not only that, but like we said, the show isn't. It's not just about the kill or the catch. I've been through. We all have, but I'll speak only to myself. I won't speak for everybody on this, but I've been through a lot of traumatic events. And actually more when I got out of the military than when I was in as a contractor. Being in the outdoors, even if it was so loud, dude. Even if it was just sitting in a tree stand or on a dock with a fishing pole, that peace, that quiet, that no cell phone service in nature is so therapeutic, and it's got me through some really, really, really hard times. I've lost a lot of people close to me pretty much all at once. I mean, within a 12-month period, I lost 40 people that were close to me, 12 of which were like everyday contact close. So, the outdoor, I'm a living proof that the outdoors is very therapeutic. I'm not a scientist. I'm not a doctor. I did study behavioral science, but it's not the same. And, to share these stories and not just ours, because obviously we could go through our stories. We have, and that's over in about 2 weeks. So, having these guests on, like Tim Brown, who was in Tower 2 and 9/11 and helped coordinate the emergency response, there's trauma example to the nth degree in how the outdoors has helped him. We've had Gold Star parents on that lost their sons in combat, talking about how the outdoors has helped with them. We've had country music singers that have lost their way, and one was even a veteran himself, and how the outdoors has helped him. And he's even invested his money. This was Scooter Brown, by the way, Scott Brown, who invested his own money into an outdoor retreat. I believe he said Colorado, I think.
Yeah, also Alaska. I think there's stuff in Alaska.
There was a fishing thing in Alaska, too. So, I mean,
I'll see him next week. I'll let you know.
Alaska or Scott?
Scott.
Oh, is he going to be up there?
Yeah.
Ah, you lucky dog. Just rub it in. Scott, if you're listening, I'm jealous. Who else have we had? We've had Bruce Mitchell from Swamp People. We've had two of the captains, Captain Paul and Captain Dave from Wicked Tuna on the show. Captain Paul talked about falling down an elevator shaft and a daughter with special needs and being homeless, broke, and unemployed. And
Benny is a professional bow fishing guide who was down there in the Houston.
Almost died
in the flooding down there trying to help people. So his story is out there.
Babe
Winkleman.
Yep. Almost died from Lyme disease.
Yeah.
So, the outdoors is so many great things. And we want to get back to that. So, if you have ideas you want to share, send us a message, send us a DM. We're always happy and willing to learn. I mean, the day you stop learning, you might as well just go ahead and throw the keys in.
And if you're doing something to help get people outdoors, if this message that we are spreading is something that you're already doing, tell us about it. And if there's something that we might be able to do to help, like getting your message out there, connecting people with you for your services, as long as it aligns with what we're doing, we'd even have you on. So
yeah, some of these comments are getting pretty good. So Maddie says, yes, ghost peppers. Actually, ghost peppers are mild. We're going to be giving him Moruga scorpion peppers. Anyways, Charita Stout says, can I send you hot sauce for Nick to try? As long as it, and I hope I'm saying your name right, is it hopefully Charita? If you have a sauce that's really, really, really hot, yes, you absolutely can send it for Nick to try. He doesn't have a say in that. Maddie says,
skip that next one.
Dang, how about them Packers almost caught you a Super Bowl? Burn! Burn!
How far'd your team make it?
I don't have a
or
team.
Or yours, Nick. Shut it.
Christopher James says, I love Babe and his wife. Been hunting with his wife and daughter before. We had, if you go back, Chris, I think Babe was what, episode 3?
Oh, don't get me lying.
3 or 4? It was in the earlier episodes. You can go back and find it on there.
Back when the show was going to sound a little weird on podcast because
we were in
radio
studio back then, so a little bit different. But yeah, we had Babe on. He talked about all things he's doing, and he's made a hell of a turnaround too recently on some projects he's working on. So, that's look. It's why we do what we do and what we love. And if we can just change one person's perception on how they comment and react to things, and we did. I mean, I see we got so many messages from people. Even saying, I was one of those, those folks, and I deleted my comment. I thought about it. The DA has already publicly stated the evidence cleared Jeff's name. He said that last Saturday?
The only thing
Friday?
waiting now to close the entire case is just the final autopsy, which they should have the reports back in about a week. And then at that point, there'll be that's something I wanted to get into. They have already said TBI will launch a formal report of the entire thing. So
Jeff was such a great guy, and I say was. He still is a great guy. But when anyone goes through something tragic, and I'm sure every one of you at home have had something horrible happen in your family at some point, and when you see it on social media, the comments of these, CIS. I was going to say NCIS, but nobody really knows what that. Well, I guess people know what that is.
Yeah, there's a show.
Law and Order television. They think everything's got to be a plot twist, and here's a guy who just lost 2 kids he loved. Felt like he didn't do enough, and he's already beating himself up, and we tell him, Jeff, you got to stay off the social media, don't watch the news. And then he's seen some of these horrid comments, and you could just tell the life was gone in him. I mean, it was so heartbreaking, but you can only tell a person to do so much and put the phone down. But when you're that concerned and that worried about people and caring about people, it's so hard. And I get it. Some of the most passionate people are the most emotional people I've ever met. And in retrospect, you'll see some comments. Fox News ran the article on Facebook, actual national Fox. And one of the comments, and I'm going to swear, so if you have any kids listening, you might want to mute this part for the next 20 seconds. There was a gentleman who actually commented on there and said, well, who cares? People from Tennessee are fucking retarded. Are you kidding me? Like, you just showed what little bit of class you had to the entire world. Thank you for that. How ignorant. But I don't think anybody really gives it the time of day. But you know what? Somebody's going to let that boil their blood, and they're going to respond to that comment, and it's going to ruin their day.
Yep.
Don't let them ruin your day. Who cares?
Well, and I want to expound on something. We know the story. We know the truths. We know what happened that day. We are not going to bring it up. But I do want to tell people that when the story is finally published, there are things that are still not going to, we're not going to have answers to a few things.
Right. And not to allude that Matt's saying he knows anything more than anybody else, but what he's saying is agents have spoken directly to those involved and those that were there and those that helped in the hunt, or not the hunt, but the cleanup. And so information has been given feedback for their own personal safety reasons.
Yep.
Because, it's too hard to go home and go, woulda, shoulda, coulda. And then you're a threat to yourself because that ugly demon depression starts kicking in.
So let's shift gears completely off that subject. But yeah, I mean, anything we can do to help is always going to be important. Again, if you want to support the benefit, you can reach us at on our website, backtothelodge.com, or you can send us an email, info@ictech.com, as you see there on the screen. But if you're listening on podcast, I guess you can't see the screen. So ICEY-TEK.com.
And there's a contact us on there that'll be sent to us. So
yep. So all right. So we have some plans put in place. We're going to shoot for end of March, early April, and tentatively, as of right now, it's looking as though we'll be able to use the Civic Center in Carroll County, as that was donated as an option. But if anybody does find a bigger or closer location
to Obion or Lake County,
those counties, let us know. But we have to go with what we can do, and the goal is to not spend money, but to raise funds. So that is the most important object. And we're good at putting these kind of events together. We've done this before.
And to end of the day, to raise as much money as we possibly can. If we can raise $72 million, I want to do it. I want to raise as much as we possibly can for good to come out of this tragedy. Be that, we're going to let the families sort of make their decision on how it's going to be dispersed.
Right. And we have the technology that we can, for those that are not in Tennessee or can't make it to Tennessee, we'll be able to do this live with all of our fun camera angles that we can play with.
And sound equipment. And
we'll just steal everybody's iPhone when they come in, and we'll have like 72 different camera angles.
Yeah.
I can actually do that. I don't know if I'd be able to see 72 monitors in front of me.
It'd be confusing.
I'm always confused, even with 3.
Right.
Doesn't take... Was that a plane?
If it was, it was low.
I think they just buzzed us. I've never heard a plane fly over the
I
building.
felt it.
Anyways.
So we're still mapping out what the whole benefit would look like. I definitely think we need to do some kind of virtual side of it, because there's just going to be a lot of people that, due to COVID, due to distance, due to whatever, want to help but can't personally get here. The venue that we have is going to be limited to approximately 800 people.
Is it 8?
Is the max. That's the number I was given.
Okay.
Even though we are under no guideline here in Tennessee, we just feel that is the appropriate number. So whether we end up doing a private event for the close people involved and then the major event being online,
we'll cross that bridge.
Yeah, we'll cross that bridge as it comes. Right now, we've accepted a ton of gifts and things to be given away, and we expect to be receiving more here shortly. So if anybody has something that they'd like to donate, or they have a connection to some company or whatever, let us know. We'd love to get, like I said, as much as we feasibly can get to raise as much as we possibly can.
Yeah.
So that's been my my job since Wednesday. Or today is Wednesday. Jesus.
Yeah.
Man.
It's been a long week.
Yeah, these last 9 days have just...
We've been nonstop, and obviously the Zach's funeral, the last funeral was Monday, and we've been playing catch up. That's kind of how I feel since Tuesday.
I don't feel that we're catching up, though.
Not yet.
But
we're just staying busy, long days.
Staying busy.
But in any case, we're going to wrap this episode up for this week, and we closed the show. We didn't close the show the traditional way. Man, I'm all mumble jumble. We didn't close the show the traditional way last week because we played the in memoriam video for Chance and Zach. We will play it again, but we are going to close after that video with our traditional close. And we always ask the same question at the end of every episode. Ask yourself, what are you grateful for? Live from IC Tech Studios in West Tennessee, I'm Patrick.
I'm still Matt.
I'm Nick.
And we are Back to the Lodge. We'll see you next week.
Hey everybody, Nick here from Back to the Lodge. If you like the show, don't forget to subscribe to us, like, comment, and click the notification bell below so you can be notified each time a new show gets uploaded. And if you want to see us and hear us live, you can go to Back to the Lodge podcast Facebook page and view us each Wednesday night from 6 to 7. But until next time, we'll see you when we head back to the lodge.